Constantino,
¿Qué huele?
pound for pound.
Constantino Garcia here for Little Giant Boxing. Make sure you guys subscribe and follow me on social media at Constantino Garcia.
Here we are with Jessie Vargas. It's fight week. Canelo versus Callum Smith. A huge fight to close out the year. Jessie, you were saying some very interesting things to me as far as making good points about how you attribute a lot of Canelo's success to Eddie. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, that's right, man. We had this conversation recently because I don't know why that conversation came about, but I honestly do feel that a lot of the success that Canelo has, of course, is from his attributes and his physique, his dedication to the sport, responsibility to the sport, and his high goals and dreams. But besides that, you also have Eddy Reynoso, who also pushes him the extra level. You know what I mean? Without Pippen, you wouldn't have Jordan Pippen. You know what I mean? Without
Phil Jackson.
Phil Jackson, the coach, right? You have Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. But you had an era where those two were like the dynamic duo. Right now, this is the era of boxing when Canelo Alvarez and Eddy Reynoso are the dynamic duo in this boxing game. There's other options as well, other fighters and trainers who make good candidates for it. But as of now, I see them at the pinnacle. At number one, because they have good chemistry. They've been together for many years. They've learned from each other. They've bettered each other in one way or another. Canelo has bettered Eddie in one way. Eddie has made Canelo better in another way. So they complement each other, and they do very well for each other. And I think that it's all because they have a similar goal, a similar mindset. So a lot of that connects. They connect the dots, and I have a lot of respect for them because of what they have accomplished, because of the respect they have towards each other, towards other people, and I think they're genuine. They're real.
And one thing that you did tell me that stood out to me the most, which was that you feel like when you're a good trainer, you have to tell them things that they don't see. But can you dive into that more?
Yeah, of course. I mean, listen, man, there's just a lot of things in this game, man. It's just a tough sport. It's a very grueling sport, but we love it. We all love it as fans, as fighters, as trainers, as cutmen, and everyone has their own responsibility. Fans to come enjoy the fights, buy the tickets, and us to give you what you want to see, so that you want to come out. You're entertainers. But going to their responsibilities, Eddie, to be exact, as a coach, or any coach in general, you have to train him and perfect his technique. You have to make sure he's not making any mistakes, or at least minimize his mistakes. Better him as a fighter, mentally and physically. Make sure he has the right people behind him. That's not so much the responsibility of the coach, but it seems like nowadays coaches have a little more to say about that. How they're living the lifestyle and the trainers, the physical trainers that they have. But what you were saying, the conversation that we had, not to elongate this conversation, but what we said yesterday, I think it was yesterday, it was that the trainer has to help the fighter in many ways, from technique to also being his eyes outside of the ring. You know what I mean? Because he's not inside the ring. No one's inside the ring but the fighter. So whenever you're seeing any mistakes from your fighter, you have to let him know, hey, pick up your right hand. But you know what? You also have to pay attention to the other fighter, because it's our job, of course, as a fighter, to pay attention to what's in front of us. But sometimes there's things that we may not see. For that reason, I would say that the trainer has to be your eyes outside of the ring. Like, hey, Tino, he is trying to catch you with your right, or with his right, you're shooting your right too long, he's trying to counter it. Watch out for that. For some reason, sometimes you might not see it, but someone else from a different visual might be able to see it, so that's when he says it. And I noticed that Eddie did it with Golovkin. He told Canelo, listen, he's trying to catch you with this hand. I don't remember what shot it was. I think it was like an upper hook. Be careful for that. He said, be careful with that. We have to con eso, cabrón, something like that, right? Like, take care. Be careful with that shot.
Picked up on that.
Yeah, I said, okay. He's looking at what the other guy brings as well. He's looking at his positioning. He's looking at what punches he's looking for. He's looking at what the opponent is trying to set up, so that you don't fall into those traps. You understand me?
Yes, sir.
So I mean, it's easy for me to say. I always say it's my responsibility, but if my coach could help me out, which that's what I expect, and say, hey, maybe I'm not seeing it, maybe a fighter isn't seeing it, the coach will say, hey, beware for this shot here because he's trying to look for it, he's trying to counter you. Because we as fighters and as coaches, we have the experience to know what one fighter is trying to do, you know, and maybe the opponent isn't really paying attention to it because maybe they're looking for a big shot. Maybe I'm looking for the big right hand. Maybe I'm looking for the big hook. Like, all right, I'm gonna look for it. I'm gonna find it. And sometimes it might just, you know, go right by you to the point where you don't pay attention to what he's trying to do because you're trying to knock his ass out.
You're trying to find that punch.
You're trying to knock him out. Like, I'm gonna fuck him up with this hook, you know? Excuse my language. I'm gonna land this big hook. All right, so then that's when you're just looking for that, when you're looking for it. But you're trying to set it up. And sometimes that's a mistake that several fighters make. You're so focused on making that shot that maybe you're falling into a trap.
Right.
You know? And that's why it's beneficial to have someone that is open and knowledgeable to let you know, hey, watch this out. But not false statements, you know, but just a quick information panel from your coach. I think it's good.
And you feel like Eddie is like the total package that has all those qualities.
I think that he is invested in himself and his fighters. I think that he has big goals as a trainer to be known as the best trainer in Mexico, and then after that, to be the best trainer in the world. I mean, from goals to goals. So I think that that's highly respectable, and that's the reason why I picked up on it. You know, you look at his library, I mean, not his, like his office. His office is full. I know because I interviewed him. We were talking about, it was during quarantine, and we did a segment, you know, Fight Time with Jessie Vargas and Mundo Boxeo. But we talked from his office, and I saw like a lot of the catalogs, boxing catalogs. Basically,
he's obsessed.
He has a boxing dictionary. Yeah. You know, he looks over and over and over again. You can only respect that. So I'd say that's why I admire him for what he does as a coach. He's very invested.
And lastly, do you have a prediction for this Saturday?
I think it's gonna be a good fight, man. It's gonna be a good fight. Anything can happen. Canelo's an extraordinary fighter. He's doing very well. Pound for pound best at the moment because of his resume. Simply, you know, standing right behind us is T-Bud, you know, and a few others. But he's one of the top. So what I'm trying to say is it's gonna be a good fight. Canelo has a lot of potential to winning decisively, especially towards the end of the fight. Okay, and Callum Smith, I mean, he has the height advantage, maybe not the reach advantage, but he has the height advantage by far. Maybe he can use that to his benefit. All he has to do is stay consistent, have a great game plan. You know, according to what he said, he's trying to follow what Kovalev did, just secure it for the 12 rounds, you know, consistently. But we'll find out Saturday night to see what happens. It's gonna be good though. It's gonna be entertaining, that's for sure. In the beginning, I definitely do see Callum Smith picking up a few rounds. Second part of the fight is where it's dangerous and Canelo could pick up the rest. But we'll find out, man. Anything can happen in boxing. You know, one punch can change everything.
Hey, Jesse, anything you want to tell your fans? I know, you know, I'm excited to see you back in the ring, hopefully soon, hopefully early next year. Is there anything you want to tell them?
Yeah, man. Hopefully we come back early next year, February, hopefully. But we're still trying to figure out a few things out. You know, I'm definitely come back on 154. I shouldn't. I had gone up to 154 in April of 2019. I went back down to give the fans a great fight, 47. But fuck, I can no longer make 47.
You're tall. I don't know how you did it, but you know what? I do know discipline because I never see you eat unhealthy, and if you do, it's very little.
I had a nutritionist that told me, yeah, you can make it, man. I think we can make it. All right, cool. We're gonna do a little different this time. All right, that's good. But honestly, that last week and a half before the fight was just tough on me, man. I swear to you, it was very, very hard.
Explain to the fans what it's like not eating and all that stuff. For those who don't know.
I think that, you know, once you're responsible and you're dedicated to it, it's worth it. But it's not so much. I can do it all day. Like I can be on a diet. It's fine with me. But the part where your body doesn't respond to you like you want it to, that's where it sucks. That's where
frustrating.
It's frustrating because you're not used to it. You understand? So if you're used to something, you're cool with it because that's you. You know what I'm saying? Like you're okay with who you are. But when your body doesn't comply and doesn't react as you normally do, as it normally does, and that's when it feels frustrating, and you know, you feel frustrated because of that reason, because you want to do everything you can, and you come out of it and you say, fuck, I could have done, you know, that's not me. But regardless, you know, you always got to give respect You know, win, lose, or draw, regardless, and you learn from your mistakes. You move forward. You know, I read an article, book. I read every now and then, and I seen a book. It says, you know, sometimes you fail to succeed. You know, and that's how I see it. You know, sometimes you don't absolutely fail, but it's just a trial run for the success to come. So it's just about being patient, but at the same time working hard, being consistent, and being focused on the task at hand. And that's what I'm trying to do now, and trying to give you the best of me in the 154. And from now on, I assure you that I'll be back stronger, and I will, God willing, I will pick up a 154-pound world title. God willing, I'm up for it. I'm ready.
And you're gonna, like, I know you're gonna give the fans the fights they want to see.
Always. I always give them only nothing but great fights, honestly. That's what I'm about. They know me as an entertainer, and that's my job to do it. And I mean, I will, and I'll continue doing that and much more. Thank you for all the support, though. I appreciate that. I really do, and I hope you enjoy the next fight.
I most definitely will, Jesse. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.